And that shit's hard. Look, I have a kid. I used to be like that until I had my kid. Now that I have my kid, like, I might be this, oh, I'm a boss bitch, da, da, da. But deep down in my heart, I would do absolutely anything to be at home and be, like, always with my child.
There you go.
But unfortunately,
and have a man protect you. Stop acting like, stop leaving out the man part. Yeah. Because for you to be home with your child, that means you got a man holding you down, protecting you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's right. And that shit's hard. Like, but unfortunately, since I'm by myself, I gotta hustle, you know. But I would do anything to have a man like.
That's what we saying. That's exactly.
God bless you. God bless you for telling the fucking truth. God bless you for telling the truth.
Look,
this was awful. Did you see her mention a guy without that guy pushing a guy down her throat? Like, no. She does not want a guy in her space with her all the time. She probably wants one for when she feels like wanting one. But in a perfect world, I would have a nanny to help me with the kids and just be getting my breaks and still working and living my best life. It doesn't necessarily have to be a man who's in the house helping you raise the kids. I actually saw an article the other day of these two women who actually bought a duplex. So they literally lived together and raised their children together because they were attached together. And that's so smart too, because you're not renting. You are putting your money into something that's going to give you, appreciation and equity and just generational wealth in the long run. And even if they never sold their house, they could probably pay it off and their kids can live in that house and have a better head start when it comes to owning their own home versus other kids whose parents didn't do that. So, yeah, women are getting pretty creative, and it's not always I need to have a man to pay the bills so that I can be at home with my child. There are things called passive income streams. And if you figure out how to make that work for you, or even working from home, if you have a YouTube channel or, God forbid, an OnlyFans, don't knock it, I know it's not for everyone, but, if you have a way to make money from home, you still get to be with your child a lot. I feel her pain because I remember many moons ago, my son is now 19, my eldest child, but I remember he was a baby. I used to cry every time I had to get him dressed and take him to daycare and hand him off to a stranger to watch him so that I can go to work. And I was actually married at the time. I want to say I was either dating or I was married to his dad. But anyways, I was working and I just knew I just want to be home with my kids. All mothers want to do is just be with their children. So all these women out here, these mothers or these women, it's usually going to be women. It could be guys too that are saying mothers specifically. They never say parents. They never bring dad into it, even though it takes two to tango. But they'll say these women are unhappy, but I'm like, how are we unhappy? Why would you have a child if you're going to be unhappy? We were around children too before we had children. I used to watch my cousin all the time. My little brother, I basically raised him. I just love children. I was around a lot of babies that I just thought were so cute, and I was just fascinated by motherhood. Always wanted to be a mom. So I don't know why people keep acting like mothers weren't around any kids ever anywhere, and so we suddenly have a kid and it's like, oh no, I'm so miserable. I don't know who these moms are. They're usually going to probably be moms who had kids for a man. Let's put that out there. Or they had children too young, or they had children without much planning going behind it. Then yeah, you are going to hate motherhood. But if you're like me and a lot of other moms who just couldn't wait to be a mother, our whole goal in life was to procreate and have a miniature human being and raise them up and experience life with this person. And then, they get older, they get married, they have kids, you get to have your grandkids. People don't talk about that. People always talk about like, oh, but like they say, like, what are you gonna do when you get old? Yeah, what are you gonna do when you get old? Your money can only go so far. And if you say like, oh well, kids can throw you in the old folks home too. Well, it's 100% guaranteed that that's where you'll end up if you don't have any children. I mean, I have a higher chance of not ending up there because I raised my children, I have children, than someone who decided to not have children at all. And your money can only do so much. Because if you, God forbid, get dementia or Alzheimer's or something going on with you and you're totally reliant on someone who's not even a family member, and hopefully it would be your child, but not even a niece, nephew, nothing, like, you're just hoping they don't do you wrong. They don't do you dirty. So there's so many benefits to being a parent that happens way before you get old and decrepit. And like so many hospice nurses have said, they see men dying old alone, not women. And I guarantee you, the women that they see who are not dying old alone, who are dying with loved ones all around them, cradling them, taking care of them until they pass on, or who takes them in to live with them until they, the elders pass away, they are mothers and fathers. They're mothers and fathers. So those people are mothers. Fathers, a lot of times they grow old alone. Like some fathers will have people around. My grandfather had us around because he was an amazing grandfather and a great husband to my grandmothers. From what I saw, he provided for her. He didn't start losing his shit till like later in life when I think he was going through some midlife crisis. But from what I saw, he was very quiet. We were in the church. He took care of house and home. He provided, paid the bills. He worked. And my grandmother stayed home with us. So we were there for him. We were around. We loved him, and we were around him when he was sick and got sick and was like and passed away. But most of the people that are going to have people around them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be parents of these people who are all around them, and grandparents of these people who are all around them, and great grandparents of these people who are all around them, because people have to worry about their own elders. So if you have nieces and nephews, like, they got to worry about their own parents getting old and taking care of them while they're also raising their own children. So you really are, you're really risking a lot by just assuming that you're going to have someone to take care of you. Like, bottom line is, like, we all are going to need someone to take care of us. You can't get out of that. We're going to get old, and we're all going to need someone to help us out once we get old. And so, is it really ridiculous for parents to want to have children and expect them to take care of them like they did with the children when they were little? I mean, that's what people have been doing for centuries. You're not going to rewrite this playbook. You can try to rewrite it, but it's not going to end well for you, because you're the one that's going to be dying alone. Your lineage is going to end wherever you're at, and that's just what it is. And even if you had a legacy, like say you have money and you invested in a college, or you just, like, that's great. You can still create a legacy of some sort, some way, somehow. You can't say you live on and on because you don't have any children to have grandchildren, to have great-grandchildren, to have great-grandchildren, but yeah, sure, you can purchase something that will be of some use or something to, like a scholarship or whatever for like next generations. But yeah, I don't know. I know people who love their children so freaking much, like they do, and that's like a four-letter word in America. America is so anti-children and anti-family. I realized that like 2 decades ago. They do not give a fuck about your kid until they turn 18. Then everyone's clamoring to get a piece of your kid. Like once they're 18, they're no longer yours. Now everybody feels like they own your child that you raised for 18 years and supported and took care of. And good parents are trying to be, we have to be okay with that. But yeah, you would expect your child to come back and be in your life and want to take care of you because they love you and because you took care of them when they couldn't do anything for themselves. So anyways, that's just decent human beings. Like, I feel sorry for some people. It's like their family structures are so eroded that they just like look at family in such a distasteful way. And it just tells me like you maybe had a fucked up childhood, or you have a really bad relationship with your family, your parents especially. Because I know from my siblings and me, like, we've been talking for years, for decades, about who's going to take care of my mom and dad when they get old. Like, really old. Because, of course, right now they're not that old. They're still toddling around doing things. They're like in their 60s, mid-60s, actually. So, but we're planning for them. You know, I bought land. My sister has a big house. We help them make sure they're going to be financially stable, to be able to take care of themselves. And we plan for this because we love our parents. And the same thing happened for my grandparents. Like, people in the family, my uncles and aunts, they took care of them. My mother, she had my grandmother for a while, and siblings just come together and they take care of the parent, because why wouldn't you? Like, how ugly is this society and this world if you really think like it's cute to like mistreat the elders, the elderly? It's pretty disgusting, especially when it's your own family member and your mother or your father, like, who was there to raise you. I'm not talking about deadbeat dads, but, or deadbeat moms, but like there's a special kind of hell for people who feel like they are not responsible for their parents when they get too old to take care of themselves. And I do not want to be on that side of karma. But yeah, so this video was weird because this guy was like, you're going to center men. You're going to center men. And I feel like she just said it just to kind of shut him up. I didn't get that she really believed that. Excuse me. Because guys are trash. They're trash. This is that fit and friendly thing or whatever. I guess he's trying to revive this, whoever posted this. But guys are trash. Nothing spectacular about them. So no. I think she is more focused on how can I make money so I can be with my kid. Like, in my perfect world, y'all, like, I would have a lot of money and I would have a nanny and a tutor for my children so they can be educated on the go. And we would just travel the world, and that would be part of, like, their schooling. Like, their homeschooling is, like, literally going to Rome in person or Africa in person and teaching them about these different cultures in person. That would be magnificent. I homeschool my older two sons, and so my younger sons, I just have a struggle dealing with public school. I don't mesh well with it. I feel like homeschooling my kids has really spoiled me. And yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like the way they run the schools nowadays. I don't like the teachers' attitudes and the teachers. I'm just not impressed. And I actually feel like a lot of parents, if you're a good parent like me, you are literally homeschooling your child anyway. Like, they just keep your child during the day for whatever reason. I don't know how they have my child all day and my kids come home, they don't know anything. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I basically had to teach you everything all over again. That's another thing too. Like, if you want to wait to have kids, go for it. I think, like, having my children in my mid 30s, early 30s to mid 30s was a way better way to have my kids. Having them younger was not really an issue. I just feel like I probably would have, like, oh, I want to have more life to live. I don't know. Like, I don't really think it was a bad experience, to be honest. And the only reason I have such a gap between my children is just because, like, my relationship didn't work out and I still wanted more kids. So I got my ex-fiance who also wanted more kids, and we had more kids. But I don't know. I don't really have any complaints. I mean, I had a good amount of support with my first son. I was overseas, and, you know, the people there in Belgium are amazing. But the States just, it's not that great it's not good for families. America, you would think they'd do better because it's like the land of the free and it's the richest country, whatever. You're only as rich as your weakest link in society. Like if you're not taking care of your weak and your elders and your shut in and your babies, the little kids and the women, the widows, whoever, like you're not great. You're not that great. You're not great at all, actually. I mean, there's countries doing it way better. Norway, Sweden, those other countries, like they are just doing so much better when it comes to social responsibility, social support. Here in America, social is a four-letter word, even though a majority of people who have any kind of wealth got it through social programs. Okay? So they're always talking about some handouts this, handouts that. You are literally the king and queens of handouts. There is nothing your family has that you earned and worked hard for. It's literally someone handed it down to you from some ill-gotten gains to begin with. But that's another story for another day. America needs to do a better job of taking care of their citizens. Stop throwing the money way across the ocean somewhere and take care of your citizens. Because none of it matters if this country collapses, how many people we saved. But yeah, so I will talk to you all later. I just wanted to show this quick video of someone who actually loves their kid. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye.